Hey everyone, thanks for hopping on the Zoom. It's so vital that you're here. Before we get kicked off, Trina sent me a text today and she said she hit diamond in her third business center today. And I was like, dang, freaking cool. And she said that she had been practicing simplicity and with recruiting. And what she means by that is she's like, invite someone to be your friend, to be your friend in your book clubs, to be your friend in your boot camps, to be your friend in this coaching thing, because sometimes coaching can sound really overwhelming to people where they're like, I don't want that responsibility. I don't want to have to do all these things that you do. I had someone tell me that, I said, what's the number one thing preventing you from signing up right now? That's a really good question to ask people. And this person out of left field, I've never had this before. They're like, I don't want to lead Zooms with 100 people on them. And I go, oh, whoa. Like, let's walk before we run here. Like, you won't be doing that. But that's their perception. And so Trina said her simplicity with inviting lately has just been 100% be my friend. Like, I just want you in on this group, in on this community, in on these groups, and let's take it from there. And so that's 100% how she hit diamond in her third CBC. And if there's anyone that leads from the front, it's Trina Gray. When I was in Chicago with her a couple months ago, we were about to get a workout done and she was late. And she said, sorry, I was at SC4. It's the last day of the month. Got to get it done. And I just said, dang, like she's 15 star in one business center, 10 star in another business center, just went diamond in her third CBC, part of the Million Club, has been coaching for 8 years. Freaking boss who's just like, sorry guys, it's at SC4. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, I totally get it. So talk about being in the trenches and taking it inch by inch. Pretty cool. So before we get started on the Zoom, by the way, Cara and Leigh, thanks for being on. I'm so excited about this because I see your names all the time. And Cara, I know you, but I think it just speaks volumes. When you see people's names on things, the accolades don't really matter to me. It's not about the accomplishments, but it definitely speaks large volumes, meaning literally you have a large volume, but it means that you're doing something, you're helping people, and you're keeping them there. And I think that that is just a huge testament to what you're doing as coaches. But also, you're not just coaches. You have families, you have a lot going on, and you're making it happen. And I just think it's really awesome. So I would love to see your faces on the Zoom. If you can put your face on and your picture off, and some of you are probably like, dang it, I'm at the store, like whatever, challenging you there. But then two, take notes, you guys. I was just sharing, I had a one-on-one with Sarah Morrison today, and I told her that I had stopped taking notes on Zooms, and I stopped taking notes on PD, and I noticed I felt stuck in my business for 6 months. I still hit Success Club. I still recruited at least 2 coaches a month, but I felt freaking stuck. And it hit me where I was like, I wasn't taking notes. Isn't that crazy? I was multitasking. I was on Facebook. I was answering messages. I was creating pictures and all these things when people are talking, and I wasn't absorbing what people were teaching. And so I've been really diligent about, I got a new notebook and have been taking notes and just being in the grind and just back to the basics. And this business is so simple. And I know Leigh is going to talk a little bit about that simplicity, because sometimes we can't just say, when people's like, what's the secret, Julianne? Like, how'd you build your business? And I'm like, I can't really tell you one thing, but I can tell you that I just show up every day and I do the 4 vital behaviors, and it doesn't always look the same, but I can't tell you it's this or that. But I really, truly believe it is simple. And it's so simple, such as taking notes. So please be engaged. Please take away notes, and just know that whatever you're going to learn tonight, you can implement that one thing you hear that just really sticks to you. So welcome, Cara and Leigh. It is amazing to have you ladies on tonight. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and get started with introductions. Cara's going to kick us off. Go ahead, sister.
Hi, everybody. So I'm Cara. I've been a coach since November of 2015. A little bit about my background. I've always been that girl who always like challenges the norm. Like, I've always been that girl who wanted to do more. But sometimes I just did too much, or I did too much and I got burned out. So kind of starting back with my fitness journey. because it kind of led me to being a coach. So I was totally a yo-yo fitness junkie. I worked 35 hours at work and graduated college. My last semester I was full-time, graduated from UNI with a business degree. From then on, Brian and I, my husband and I, got engaged, and I started marathon training after we got married. So it was like one big thing after another. I always had to have a challenge. I always had to have a goal. Once I completed 3 half marathons, I went back to like extreme group fitness. And if I can point one thing out with myself, is that I've learned that when I have a goal, I go hard and I burn myself out. And that is one key to coaching for me, is that I've realized that. So for my group fitness class, I did that for 2 years. I sustained multiple ankle injuries, and it just left me very burnt out. It left me very, I wasn't listening to my body. I was comparing. I wanted to go hard at it. So when I got pregnant, I was very lost. Riley went live the other day and just talked about her journey so far. And I got to give that girl credit, because I've been there. Like, that was my first pregnancy. Is I knew what to do. I just didn't realize what my body was going to go through this pregnancy. So fast forward 9 months, I gained 55 pounds with my son. I was very busy. We moved houses. We did 2 bathroom renovations. I ended up accepting a new position on the day we brought Carter home from the hospital. So my life was just totally, like, whether I was at work or home, I was in a different setting, and it was like just a life of chaos. And some of you can definitely relate to this, but so postpartum, I still had about 25 pounds to lose. Kim and I had been friends for, oh gosh, I would say I've known her as long as I've known my husband, so probably about 12 years. And at that point, 10 years. But she had reached out to me, and I had been like interested in 21 Day Fix. And guess what, guys? I was that challenger who just bought the 21 Day Fix. It had no Shakeology, no performance line. I was breastfeeding, so I was like, don't know about that, So I did 3 rounds of that, and I kept seeing Kim on my newsfeed. I kept seeing her transformation. I kept seeing Lindsay's transformation. And I had great success for 3 rounds. I lost almost all the rest of my baby weight, but there was still more because I needed a challenge, right? So got 21 Day Fix in July 2015, did 3 rounds, did some PIO, I think, and then decided, all right, I need to give this a full-blown thing. And Kim knew I was hesitant about this. I don't know why I was hesitant about it. I think I was just scared because I had so many new roles going on at the time. I had been given a branch manager position at work. I had a brand new team and a brand new community as a brand new mom. And so coaching just really intimidated me, even though I coached volleyball, forgot that piece, but I've coached volleyball for 5 years. Girls ages 11 through 17. So not sure if this is a girl or not, but if it is, I kind of know what to expect. So anyway, so I jumped in for the discount because, hey, new mom, got to buy diapers, Amazon mom, love my discount. So decided that I was going to give Shakeology a go. P.S. I thought I was only going to do it for 30 days and make him happy and just see where it went. Joke's on me. So I really started because I wanted to have hope for myself again. Nothing else was working. I knew I didn't want a quick fix, and I wasn't willing to spend hours at the gym away from my newborn. I really wanted that time back for myself, and I knew I needed to do something different to get something different.
That is huge. There's a couple things I heard. One, I didn't realize that you were that hesitant about things. And I had someone today who's signing up as a coach right now who has been so hesitant. And this is what I said to her. And this is a tip for you guys. And this is another thing. Cara's a very successful diamond coach on our team, you guys, who was hesitant, skeptical, pulling teeth probably on Kim's side of just like, just do this. It's going to change your life, right? Have you guys been there? We're just like, what are you so worried about? You're not going to die. Like, it's going to be awesome, right? But you have to remember that, were you the person who took forever and just was skeptical? So I have this person who's skeptical, like, I mean, skeptical. And I said, it just sounds like you're not trusting me. It sounds like you may not be ready. I'm not in a convincing business. That's not what I'm a part of. I'm a part of a life-changing one. So maybe you should just watch my social media a little bit more, and maybe you should be in more of my groups, because you've had awesome transformation so far, but maybe you just need some extra time. And she said, no, I'm in. And it was because I spoke with that such like, you are making this way more difficult, and I'm not willing to battle that out. Because I stand in my truth, I'm not going to convince you to do anything. So maybe that's a gut check for you guys, that you kind of have to see, like, Kim was just doing her thing and Cara had to realize herself, right? So maybe if there's someone that's kind of pulling teeth with you, I would ask them, what's the one thing that's holding you back right now? And then 2, it's like, if that's what's holding you back, it just seems like you need to watch me a little bit longer, because I have your back. This community will change your life. I know what it's going to do for you. So that's really what I took from that, Cara. Like, that is so many people that could identify with you, that have people that I guarantee are just saying no, 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 and just like, I'm not going to do this. I'm only going to do this, and just be so hesitant. But I really love that you were like, like, joke's on me. Like, I didn't realize you should talk about that more on your social media, because everyone, that's your avatar. Your avatar is thinking the exact same way you are. And it's hard to identify when you've come this far to go back to that person who was so skeptical. Because I was like, oh my gosh, I like didn't even know
and
that.
That's exactly what I tell my brand new coaches is, you will never be more relatable than where you are right now.
Yes.
Because I forget to
Yes.
post. I forget to share, because people see me show up and they're like, oh, she's crazy. She's 4.5 months pregnant.
Yes.
She doesn't even look pregnant. But then they don't see
your start.
They don't see that start.
Yeah. And always go back to your start.
And only Kim sees that.
Yeah. And it's crazy because even just as far as to go, not even just with challengers, people becoming coaches, but your coaches, they see you as successful, having high volume, all these things, but you're like, whoa, I didn't even start with a challenge pack. That sucks. I mean, but you did, but like, you know what I mean? So yeah, like, always go back to that. But the farther we get in this, the harder it is to relate, because our lives have been transformed. So thanks for sharing that with such conviction. And man, I was like, yes, like, I need to talk about that more too, because there are so many people that are feeling that way now that are watching you. So go back to that person. It's going to be so helpful. Oh no, you guys are frozen. Can you still hear me?
And because I don't want him to grow up, basically. But with them, I gained a lot of weight when I was pregnant, but I lost it. Like, it was really not that big of a deal. But then I turned 35, and I turned 35 6 years ago, and all of a sudden I was like, what the heck is happening? Like, I can't just eat whatever I want and not gain weight. Now, with that, I will say that I have been a runner since college, never competitively. Like, I'm truly not a competitive person. My friends make fun of me because of that, because really I feel like I compete with myself. I really don't compete with other people. I'm not like, I never played sports because not aggressive. Like, that's just not who I am. And I'm okay with that now. For a long time I wasn't, but I ran marathons, half marathons. I just ran to run. But like Cara, I had several injuries. It was just breaking my body down. So I would say I ran probably between 40 and 50 miles a week for 20 years. And I'm paying for it. But how did this whole thing start? It was really about, I wanted to change. Well, first of all, I wanted to work. I needed to find something different for working out, because running was not working for me anymore. I have never been a gym person. Like, I I always hated like going to the gym and feeling like I had to look decent. And I could never, for much of the time my kids were little, I was teaching, and I left my house at 7 a.m. Well, that would mean I need to go to the gym at like 4:30 and to get everybody ready and everything. And that just never, they're not even open. And then you go and wait for a machine like that, just that whole story, so the whole going to the gym, never, I tried it so many times, and it just was never the right thing for me. So I ordered T25 because I wanted to work out at home and I wanted to do it in the morning. Those were my two things. I'm like, I need to work out in the morning, and 25 minutes I can do. And so I just like fell in love with that. And, they talk about Shakeology on there all the time, and I would look at the price, and I was like, I just can't do it. It's so expensive. I didn't know anybody. Like, I didn't even know that there was Beachbody coaching. So it was like, there was nobody on my Facebook feed doing it. I didn't even know it was a thing. And, like the whole time frame of everything is kind of blurry to me. I know I met Kim in 2015, fall of 2015. Does that sound right? And because I had been doing T25 I did it for like 7 months. It's not that long of a program, but I just kept doing it because I liked it. I met Kim that fall, and I had a friend who, she was a discount coach, signed up under somebody, but she was like totally not about the business at all. So she would get me her Shakeology at like the discount or whatever. Well, once I learned like how the whole thing worked, I'm like, well, I just want to do that. And so, when I met Kim, it was like funny because it just everything like just fell into place with it. It's kind of bizarre. And so I signed up as a discount coach in like February of 2016. And I am a learner. I'm not usually one that's just going to like jump in and like do something out on my own. Like, I will sit back and watch and learn and take it all in and like decide what will work for me and what is not me. And I'll try new things once I feel confident, but I have to I'm that person who sits back and watches and sees what other people do and how other people are successful, to kind of make a decision. So I really didn't, that was like February of 2016. And I didn't really start doing much until that summer. And then this spring, I was like, okay, I'm doing this. I love it so much. It's changed my life so much. It's changed my family's life. We eat super healthy, and my son isn't always happy about it, but we do it. So, just that kind of thing. And so, professionally, I was a 6th grade teacher for 13 years. I left that 6 years ago, and I am a literacy and teacher leadership consultant with our AEA. And so I work with lots and lots of districts. And so a lot of instructional coaching that I do. I was an instructional coach for teachers for a few years, and the last couple of years I've been an instructional coach for coaches. And so it really felt like a really perfect fit for me, just because of the practices that I have learned and I do for my job. So it was kind of marrying the coaching that I love so much and fitness and nutrition that I love so much. But I struggled with the whole selling thing, because I love what you said, Julian. I'm not in a convincing business. If you want to try it, if you don't, I'm not going to convince you. I love it. I can give you all this information, but it's your choice. I mean, that's kind of where I've left it with a lot of people. So anyway, I feel like I hit it really hard these last few months. I've had some downtime from work just naturally with the summer. I am feeling it big time right now because I'm back to work. My kids are back to school, volleyball, football. I'm a little stressed out, but it's okay. It's all good. It'll be fine.
You should talk about that. You should talk about the whirlwind of getting back to school, but you're still making your self-care a priority. And I think people are going to be like, her too good.
Well, I just feel like self-care for me, like there are just certain things that are not like a non-negotiable. My workout's a non-negotiable. It always has been my whole life. Like I remember my son was like 3 and he went to my mom's for the weekend and she was putting her tennis shoes on and he's like, Grandma, you going running? Because like, that's what we do. Like that's a part of our lives. And, my daughter this summer, she's started her junior year yesterday, but this summer she worked out every day. She did tons of like hammer and chisel. She did a lot of T25, lots of Insanity Max 30. She really, it's just cool to see her, like, she wants to like get up with me. And if she sleeps later, then she does it. Like, it's never like, it's just a thing. It's just what we do. But it's this for self, it is like, for me, it's as much mental as it is physical. I know you all understand that. So I know that I don't sound like a crazy person when I say that to you guys. Some people are like, really? I'm like, how do you get up that early and do that? I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you not? Like, that's usually my, response. I've gotten bolder in my old age. And let me tell you, you guys are all like 10 years younger than me. So, it's like the whole like judgment thing, like I'm so past that. Like if people want to judge, go ahead. That's on you. That's not on me, But the busyness of life, I'm a planner and I just feel like I love that Facebook now has that you can schedule posts. I really like to like create a spreadsheet or like I usually do a Google Doc and just have a table and I have like the date and the post and what kind of graphic that I want to put in. I do that for my challenge groups and then my daily ones. I really like just through personal development and listening to, seeing what all of you do too, like on your Facebook, seeing the things that you do and you post help. Sometimes it's just like an inspiration that I need to write something myself. I honestly, I just said that I feel like I'm a lot older than most of you, but my other thing with starting this is for moms that are my age and have kids who are, in high school and junior high, we're in a different place too, because for the longest time, I was just Gentry and Gibson's mom. Like, not that there's anything wrong with that. When I said just, I didn't mean just, but that's who I was. And I defined myself that way and I still do. But you get to a point where like this summer, I found myself so many times like home by myself. Like my kids are like off doing their own thing. And here I am and my husband's golfing or fishing or whatever. And I'm sitting here like, if I don't find something for me and define myself in another way, my daughter's going to be in college in 2 years and I need something that's going to fulfill that. I like to be needed and I like to help people and I want to support people and, just build those relationships, I guess. So
that's huge. That's so big.
Cara, I said I wasn't going to talk as long in there. I talked probably longer.
No, it's so golden. And a really big takeaway that I took away, I'm very reflective and I like to apply it. And I love to make connections. And something that you said to me was you sat back and watched. And if you're feeling stuck this month, all of your people are sitting on the sidelines watching you and you just need to call them out and say, hey, for those of you who've been watching me and on those sidelines, stop. Enough is enough. Like it is time. It is time for you to do this thing. Yeah. And that's like the biggest word that struck me where I was like, oh, Leigh, you need to own that. Like own the sideline thing. And I always say that in my live videos. For those of you who are on sidelines, stop watching and living through me. Like just start doing this. You're following me for the wrong reasons. That was awesome. And yeah, and I think we can all relate to this, you guys, is that coaching is so much more than fitness and nutrition. Like it is so much mindset and community. And how can we relay that in our messaging? How can we put that through our social media saying, I get to be, because I was just the teacher. That's all I was. And I didn't want to just be that anymore. And I found this deeper and bigger purpose. And so how can we message that? And so maybe if you're feeling stuck, you guys, you just got to go a level deeper of, man, like I feel so convicted by doing this. And it's crazy. I watch Leigh and Cara all the time. And I just think about, I think it's really easy once you hit emerald to stop. I think it's really easy once you hit diamond to stop. And what I've noticed about you two is that if you've been close to losing your diamond, or if you have lost your diamond, one, you're like, freaking A, and then you're going to go after it. I see it. I watch. I'm a watcher of a leader. Like I watch what everyone's doing. I always know what everyone's doing, even if I don't know everyone. Sarah's the same way. And we always know what's going on. But your tenacity and fight to keep on moving your businesses forward is the thing that really encourages me. It just seems like you both make Success Club a non-negotiable. Whether you think you're going to hit it or not, you will. And you make adding to your team a non-negotiable all the time. And I just think that is setting such a solid foundation of growth for not just helping your business, but helping other people ignite their lives. And I just think that's a big testimony to that. So I'm really thankful you both are on, and let's get into it. And again, ladies, and whoever's watching this later, you have to understand that not everyone's going to be the same, but you can always learn from someone, because these two women, they may be like, Joanne, you're crazy. They're crushing it. And they may not feel like that at this moment, but I've seen a lot of coaches, you guys. I've worked with a lot of coaches. They really are crushing it. So, Cara, what does your business look like with wearing multiple hats as a wife, as mom, someone who's pregnant with a full-time job? Like, what does that look like? How do you do this business?
Crazy. It's crazy. I love what you said too. Leigh, I was chatting to everybody when you were talking, because I had no idea we were that different. And so I think it's amazing that we're both almost in the same chapter, and you started a year behind me, but yet you talk about sitting back and watching, but yet you're able to apply and like keep your team active, and yet we're here on the same team call. So kudos to you, because I don't think that at all. Like, I think you're in the trenches with everybody day in, day out. So, gosh, my business has really transformed throughout the last year. So prior to getting pregnant, obviously, like, my day looked a little bit different. I was able to get up at 4:30 a.m. with my success partner. We do this daily. She's been a huge part of my journey, and just not being burnt out. Like, she recognizes when I'm in that, not in the danger zone, but close to the danger zone. And so, part of this is not relying on my upline as much, because she has freaking 170 coaches now. So it's amazing to see. But my power hour would start at 4:30 a.m. So we'd work for about an hour, hour and a half, and we'd chat too. Like, we've gotten to know each other really well. We also, people ask me about getting a success partner, and I think they think that it always needs to be like a Cara and Kristen or a Julianne and Sarah type thing. And I'm like, no. I'm like, it just kind of happens by accident sometimes that way. So, number one, getting a success partner has been crucial in my business, especially right now we're both pregnant. So that has been kind of an amazing God-given journey, because I never thought that would be the case. We didn't talk about getting pregnant at the same time, but it just kind of happened that way. So since I work full-time, I'm a branch manager at a local credit union. I drive about 15 minutes to work every day. So I would, before getting pregnant, I would, do my power hour for an hour and a half. And really that would just focus on the vitals, focus on, making sure I'm responding to messages, adding to network, talking about future challenge groups, going back to previous posts and making sure that I am reaching out to those individuals. those kinds of things. And then whatever didn't happen within that power hour happened like on my lunch. I've been very strict about like I prep my lunches. So I have an hour to kill at work, and I've really tried to be present. So during my lunch, I would, try to either listen or read 10 to 20 minutes of PD, get my noon post in. And then also if there was any time, I would be in my inbox, just messaging people. And Teresa Schrader would call that pocket coaching, but that's what worked because I did not know what the night would call for. I didn't know if Carter would go to bed. He's 2.5. So a year ago, he would have been 1.5. So I had no idea if he was going to bed at 7:30 or 8:30 or 9:30. So I really tried to make sure like by 1 o'clock, I felt good about what I did through that day. If we did get him, he's actually been an amazing sleeper. So I've been very blessed with that one. Kind of worried about this one because it went so well. But after 7:30, I would be able to do any more follow-ups. And, it's funny, Julianne said this, I think, a few months ago, but she talked about staying in your inbox. Like that has never been more important to me than just right now, because with the pregnancy, I still play the comparison game, guys. And I find that the more I'm in on my news feed, the more I play that game. So just really, especially on my phone, like I love how I can just pick up Messenger and I'm not in Facebook. I'm just in Messenger. And so just really sinking my teeth into my Messenger versus the news feed. For a while there, I was telling Kim, like, I'm not going to my newsfeed. I'm not going to my newsfeed. She goes, you need to comment. You need to like on these people that you're adding to your network. You need to show up on their page before you're messaging them. And I'm like a cold inviter. I always have been. I'm kind of like the leave me or join me or delete me. Like I found something that works and I have so much conviction in it. So like now that I'm pregnant, so I've been getting up later, so like 5:30, so I've lost a half an hour. So I've really, even though I'm really tired by the end of the night because I'm still getting my workout in every morning, like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock hits and it hits hard. So you guys are seeing me on a good day. So I did not take Energize before this, by the way. But I'm really trying to make sure I get quality right now. And I'm trying not to focus on so much about quantity of time, because before, like I would spend 2+ hours. And I know that's not always going to be feasible in this journey, especially since I'm working full time. And I don't want to leave my marriage, like I want everything to still be stable. So that's where I'm at right now. That's kind of how I spend my time. That's how my day goes. Weekends, when Carter's taking a nap, if I'm not meal prepping, I'm working on this business. I'm showing up in people's messenger because I want them to know I'm thinking about them.
That's so awesome and so helpful. And I think the biggest thing for me has been spending time in your inbox. It's so true, where it's like, and I heard you say I go back to my posts, meaning you guys, when people like or comment on our posts, you make sure to go back and message them back, or hey, thanks for liking my post, how are you doing, thanks for showing me love and support, or responding back to them, because when you do that on those pictures, they go back up in the news feed just as much as if you tag yourself a day later. Your tag will go back up in the newsfeed. There's little tricks that's going with that, and it just sounds like you're being really relentless with your time because you have a really big goal you're going for. And if you don't know what you're fighting for in this business, am I allowed to say it?
Mm-hmm.
So Cara wants to leave her job. Like, she wants to be a full-time coach at home with her babies. And I am thinking, dang girl, like, anything you work on right now is going to benefit you 6 months from now. And she's spending 2.5 hours in her inbox. She's spending 2.5 hours, right? Trying anyway, 2.5 hours, maybe it's 1.5 hours. But she is so laser focused because she knows what she wants. and that's what's going to benefit her then. Even when things feel slow every day. Do I get Success Club points every day? No. I'll literally be like, did anything even happen today? Like, I worked so much, I think, and nothing happened. But then next thing you know, I'm hitting these goals. It doesn't play favorites. So that makes me really proud. Leigh, take it away. What does your business look like with multiple hats? I'm very curious to know because I don't know what you do.
So I don't know. I don't think I do as much as Cara. Like, that sounds amazing, and you're so organized, and I don't know how you do that with a toddler.
Girlfriend. Nope. Nope.
I do pay attention to likes and comments. More so comments on anything that I post, even if it's just like a motivational quote or whatever. I do also reach out. So one of the things that I do, and I don't know, like, I did it a long time ago, and I kind of like even forgot that it was like, after a while I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I created a private group, and it's just my team page. I call it Team Awesome and Fit, but it's only for people who are customers or discount coaches with me. And so I honestly think that is how I keep them active. Like, I post there every day. I post there way more than I post on my personal page. To me, it's more of if I had another Facebook page that was just my fitness group, but it's closed. And because it's closed, I think that it helps the people that that struggle with like sharing their own journeys. Like, it's private, and they know that the people that are in that group are people who are doing the same thing they're doing. It's not like just a million people, whoever. Yeah, it's like a virtual gym. It is. We post our workouts. Like today, I think I posted like, share a tip on how you get your water in every day. Or, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it's just, what's your workout today? Like, sometimes it's just really, I don't know. Sometimes it's really simple. So I feel like that's probably my biggest reason maybe for keeping my coaches active and keeping people engaged. I've seen people like go from posting a ton and like liking everything on there to like totally, you can tell they're like, I'm on a break from Facebook. And so that's tough. But I also spend a lot of time in my inbox too. And it's just like, I actually do it a lot when I'm driving. Like, I'll voice message people on Facebook Messenger just to check in. Sometimes I don't hear anything back, but I check in that way. I am not going to lie. It's hard for me to cold invite. When I do a challenge, I just post the challenge event on my personal page, invite that way. I also invite through the challenge, through the event, but personal, like specific invites through Messenger, I haven't been very good with that. There have been times that I've reached out and invited, I don't even know, it hasn't been a ton of people, but probably 20 to 25, maybe a month. And some have worked out and some haven't, and that's okay. I'm totally fine with it, but it's so awesome when you reach out and it's like, oh yeah, I've been going to talk to you about that. You know, that's their response to me. Like, hey, would you be interested in doing this or giving it a try? And it's like the best feeling ever. So I have some people right now that are just like crushing their goals, and I'm like with weight loss and nutrition, I don't really feel like I have anybody who is working the business. I do obviously have several emeralds. I don't even know, like 2 on one side and 2 on the other, I think. I don't even know. Isn't that terrible? I should know. Like during the summer when I was like not at work all the time, I was like, I know right where everybody is. And now that I'm back to work, I'm like, I don't even know where everybody is.
No, you're fine. It's like you're not solely focused on the number and the rank. Yeah. Like, you're focused on the people, and that's great.
And honestly, like, I love it so much that so many of you, like, this is your goal, like, to do this full time and to, you know, really make that work. I don't see that for myself right now. I just love doing it. Like I feel like I've been really, like I've had a lot of success. But it's so much more like a passion for me than it is nice to see a deposit on Thursdays. I'm not going to lie. That's really nice to see. But I've thought so many times, like, would I do this if I didn't get that? And I honestly think I would. Like I was listening to a podcast today, or maybe it was yesterday, about motivation. And it was about, like, we always say, you can do it, you can do it. Did anyone else listen to it? And so we say you can do it, but then we don't tell people how. And so all I could think is, like, I tell my people all the time, you can do it, you can do it. And I tell other people, you know, like, if I can do it, you can do it. But the how, we have the how. Like, we have the tools. And so it was just, like, to me, it's so much more than, I mean, it's a little side business for me, and I love that. But my goals, I really aren't to, like, do this full time or whatever. But you, young mom, go for it. Let me tell you.
That's why I love this, though. And I think that's a big thing to share with your people, is that you don't have, coaching isn't to do it full time. Coaching is to do it to enhance your life. And whatever capacity that looks like. And man, sister, this is where you're at. I'm like, where does she spend her time? Because I creep, and I'm just like, okay, like, I just am missing something, that private group you have. So when you get a new challenger or a new coach, do you say, hey, by the way, I'm going to add you to this group, and do you explain to them what it is?
I do. And if they're discount coaches, I add them to Rise and Fit, and I explain to them what that is. And just kind of tell them, like, here's what it is. There's people on there that do this at all levels. So just, you know, so they're aware. But I do explain that, like, my group, my private group page is just for the people who are customers or discount coaches, or anytime, like, if they're customers, like, that have bought one thing from me, I add them, just so that people know, like, there's no judgment. And I always say that. I'll go live on that page a lot and be like, this is a safe, supportive, you know, environment that we do not judge. We only share positivity, you know, and encouragement. It's a safe place. That's kind of how I utilize that.
That's huge. And I think about something that you talking about, the how, and I want you guys to have a gut check with this, is, are you telling and having expectations for your challengers and coaches? So something I thought about was, this is embarrassing to say, but you guys, I have not had a challenger with a transformation in a really long time. And it was really bothering me. Yes, I mainly sign up coaches right away, and then they have a transformation. But I legitimately, on Transformation Tuesday, couldn't pick out a challenger to feature. And I had to have serious gut checks with myself, going, why is that? Why is that? That's because I wasn't expecting them and teaching them how to take their measurements and send them to me, and then send them into Beachbody, send them all these things. So what I did in my group is I made an expectation list. I said, listen, this is what's expected. You are going to send me your measurements. You are going to do this. You're going to participate in our group. I was like, bam, bam, bam. This is what you're going to do, because I got 20 messages with before pictures and measurements. And I was freaking almost crying, and I'm a red, and I'm not very, like, empathetic and all these things. But I was like, Eric, oh my gosh. And I was like excited and passionate. So Leigh, I get why you were feeling so passionate about it, because I feel like I was missing that in my business, because I was making it all about me. I don't need challenge groups. I don't like challenge groups. I was making it about what I liked and didn't like, versus, wait a second, people should love these challenge groups. People should get results in these challenge groups. Julianne, get over yourself. And once I did, it has reignited my business. So I'm really pumped about that, and that you're helping so many people, and you're feeling so convicted of that, because that just fired me up right now. So
good.
Freaking cool, dude. All right, let's go ahead and skip the plan your month, and let's go to this last question, because then I want you guys to ask questions. These two are freaking leaders on this team. A really, really big team. Really big, awesome, wonderful baby team, I still like to call it, with Sarah and I. And these two know what they're doing, and I want you guys to ask them questions. But what are your best practices? Like, what do you think? I know that you're saying, like, I spend time in my inbox. Kim just said that Leigh has an awesome welcome email. What is your best practice? For me, if I had to say my number one best practice, it would be my event page. That hands down, I'm making 3 videos, or I make a video to new challengers to what to expect, or I make a new video for new coaches on what to expect, on how they're going to get added to groups and all this stuff. So what is your best practice that you're in love with your business? Cara, go ahead.
Oh, let's see. I would say, gosh, like even just since Summit, I think my best practice has been just showing up more live in my challenge groups. Kim and I talked about this actually just today, and just about, planning so much into these challenge groups. And then we've thought about it forever. And then when we actually get to it by day 11, 12 in a 21-day group, we're totally on autopilot. And Kristen and I have talked about this too, is that we just need to go back to having challenge groups be fun and inviting, and just reminding people about the simple things. I mean, we talk about the simple things in this business, like there's no really key ingredient. When I went to Punta Cana, you had the elite panel up there that said, people say, what's your secret sauce to being a top 10 coach? And it's like doing the 4 vitals. Like, they're telling us the exact same things that we're consistently communicating on team Zooms. And for me, I think in the challenge groups is, Julian, we're just talking about this right when we began this call, but what are you struggling with? And I think just having multiple gut checks with myself throughout this journey, because a gut check I had 2 years ago is not a gut check I have today. Today it's, am I spending quality time in my business, or am I letting the comparison game get a hold of me? And I'll be honest, I mean, an hour and a half right now is probably a good solid hour that I'm not allowing myself to scroll my news feed and get caught up. And it's kind of tough with like school pictures because they're fun to see, but I would say just showing up daily. I mean, I am not a very organized person, but I know that I have belief that if I show up every single day, I'm going to achieve success, because it's just, I believe in the compound effect so much. And I've gotten to this point, which was never a goal for me. So to me, for the coach that's just in her first 6 months, in her first year, kind of between the discount hobby coach, don't really know what you want to do with this, but you're convicted enough to see this through. It's the showing up daily. It's the being vulnerable. It's the what's going to set you apart. What's going to set you apart from any other coach, and being confident enough to share that, because you have 500 and some coaches on Happy and Fit that are going to back you.
Could you I wish you could hear me go, yes, maybe you saw I was motioning that, but yes. Sarah and I talk about this all the time, where we're like, I remember when Sarah, first of all, had a 1-year-old when she started this business, which is weird for me to think about. And then 2, she moved, she had a death in her family. There's just literally just all the stuff. I remember she couldn't post things on Facebook because her family was so negative. She had all these things happen in her life. Me and I list them too. And I'm just but we showed up. I remember being behind my computer screen crying and just posting. And that is it, sister. You just show up. Did you guys hear that? Her little best practice that she does, she just shows up. She just doesn't make excuses. When she finds herself comparing, she stops. And you have to realize that when you show up every day, I've had so many people quit. It's ridiculous. And all their people who told them no came to me, because I didn't stop. They weren't ready yet, but I saw it through. And when you see it through, you get through it. And man, that was so good. Show up every day. And what's going to set you?
One more thing.
Yeah.
Protect your energy, protect your time.
Yes.
The longer you're in this business, the more no's you're going to hear. The people in your inner circle, they may support you or they may draw further away. I've unfortunately lost some friends over this after trying to reconnect. But I have to know that I'm in this for a bigger purpose, and at some point they may come around, and if they don't, then I know it's not meant to be. But you definitely, like Trina says, you need to protect your heart. This business is about heart and armor, and I fully believe that. And I'm a red, so for me to say that, I think that's huge. But there are people that are going to hurt you, and there are going to be people that step out and that you can't believe that they're in your life, and you're so grateful for them.
That was huge.
Yeah,
and I always think of it like
protect your
this.
time.
Someone's like, oh, my friends are being so negative at me when doing this. I'm like, what do you mean? Becoming healthier and happier? Like, they hate that? That sucks. And then, like, joking where I'm like, do you see how this is sounding silly? But you know what happens, you guys? They've always been like that. You just never noticed it until you started changing yourself. So those friends that you're losing, they were always in a way not being good for you, but you never noticed until you elevated your thinking. And once you elevated your thinking, you're like, you don't want me to be healthy and happy? Like, this makes me really happy. You're not down with that? Guess we're not meant to be. That's huge. Show up every day. I think that was my favorite thing that you said. Leigh, go ahead.
Best practices. I think Kim mentioned it in the comments. I have a welcome email that I send, and it is like, to me, it's like all the things I learned by myself in the first year, that hopefully they don't have to learn by themselves. It's just like, use the 21 Day Fix app, use the BOD app, follow these people on Facebook. It's like the most simple things. I even have on there, like, do you have a great blender? Because if you don't, you're gonna not like your shake. Like, I know that sounds so silly, but I can't even tell you, like, all my people now have Ninja 900 watt blenders, because I'm like, this is what you need. And so they order, like, where do I get it? Go on Amazon. So it's like the tiny things that kind of make or break those little things, just so that when they're ready to start, they're ready to start. Best practices, this is seriously, like, this is totally going to show my blue, but best practice for me is caring. Like, one of my challengers, she started at the beginning of June. She's a discount coach. She called me last night at 8:00 and she's like, I'm coming to your house. I'm like, I had like a crap day yesterday. And she's like, I'm coming over right now. And I said, okay, well, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I just want to show you something. It's going to make you really happy. I'm like, okay, great. And so she shows up at my door, and I've been seeing her like all summer and working with her, but she had like dress clothes on. She's lost like 20 pounds, but here's the kicker, 27.5 inches. So she looked like, I started crying because she looked amazing, and she's I care about her and her health and her kids and her family. And so best practice to me, like, if you don't care about these people, don't do it. Like, you have to care. If you don't, they're going to see right through it. I honestly, like, I don't know. That probably sounds blunt, but if you're in it for the wrong reason, get out.
Mic drop. Like, that's so true though, where it's like, you can't fake that. Like, no. You cannot fake conviction, caring, and all these things. That was freaking awesome.
And I guess a best practice too is, like, pay attention. Like, they're people. They're not just customers. They're not just discount coaches. Like, they're people. If they're, whatever is going on in their life. Like, there's been times when I spent 3 hours talking to somebody, learning their whole life, and they ended up not buying anything. And that was okay. Like, I was okay with that, because obviously that's what she needed that day. So, it's kind of, was that the best use of my time? Probably not, but she needed that day. And if she ever does decide to try it, great. But if she doesn't, that's okay too. So I don't know. What other best practice? I don't know, like, just trying to keep, especially like in my team page, trying to keep my posts well-rounded with Shakeology, nutrition, workouts. Everybody's got what the struggle for everyone is different. Like my struggle is food for sure. My workout is not a struggle. Like I love that. My shake is not a struggle. It happens every day, no matter what. My water, not a struggle, but food is a struggle every day. So I think just like keeping that well-rounded is definitely a practice that I know that I know it's not perfectly balanced, but try to keep that well-rounded.
I love that. It means you listen. That inspires me because I was thinking about my challenge group, and I actually took the time to read through all of their answers. You guys, that could be like 50 answers of like paragraphs. But when you take the time to do that, and actually, Sarah Morrison does a really awesome job of this. If there's a new coach welcome, she doesn't just say welcome, if you've ever noticed. She's always very intentional with what she says. And she's like, I feel like that's the extra inch I give. And I'm like, it is. That is your extra inch. And I notice it. And Leigh, that's your extra inch. That is the reason why you're successful. And I think that that's just a gut check we all have to have, is what's that extra inch we need to make to care. And if that's in your challenge group where you're like, hey, everybody, what's the struggle you're having today? And if they're all saying water, then post in their water tracking app and have a water contest. Like, listen to your people and what they need and make it a challenge around that struggle. That is crazy. You two are freaking inspiring. Like, I literally am like, I love this. I love being surrounded by empowering people that just want to help people and better their lives. Like, coaching requires you to become a better person. And then therefore, when you become a better person, so do other people. And the people who are being negative in your life will either come around, or you guys, honestly, there are more people who need you. And that's the type of mindset you need in this business. So, team, what questions do you have for Leigh and Cara? At least give them a shout out or something. But man, unmute yourself. Go ahead and ask a question. I would love that. Sarah and Kim, you guys can start us off if you have a question or a comment, and then we'll see if anybody else does.
I have no questions. I just want to sing praises of these two. One's a silent leader, just you never really know what's going on, but yeah, she's still coming up and showing up and adding people, and it's awesome, and she's always so happy. But I know when she's stressed out, we can just talk about it. But then the other one is like fierce, on fire, like but still amazing, and I love them both very dearly. So awesome job tonight, ladies.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you. February's a good month for you, Kim. February 2015, February 2016.
February is a really good month, in my opinion. It's always my best month. It's awesome. Sarah, you got anything? Jordan, Chris, Carla, Nikki, Sasha, Jess, Heather. Sarah, can't hear you.
I said my house is loud. I'm not talking right now.
I can hear them. All right. I don't think that there are any other questions, but I hope that you guys just take one thing. I think my thing is, what's my inch? I think that's the question I'm going to ask myself. Like, that's what I feel inspired by right now, of what's my inch that I want to take. And then also going live in my challenge group tomorrow. That's two very simple things that I'm applying, but I learned a lot of things. I took a lot of notes, but I'm only going to take a couple things and implement it, because don't overwhelm yourself with that, right? Hey, thanks for taking the time to be on this call, you guys. You all are amazing. I love you. I love this team. I'm really proud of the leadership, the direction, and just the conviction. It's my absolute favorite. So thanks, ladies, for being on. Talk to you all later.